gossip.
Steady gossip.
What's up, world? You're tuned into 423 FM. You already know we've got you covered with your daily dose of celebrity drama. Now let's get into it. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the 423. Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you are not watching Temptation Island, you are seriously missing out. But if you clicked on this video, I'll assume you're a man or woman of taste, like me, who does watch the best show on TV, and I love that about you. Season 1 was definitely crazy, but in Season 2, they really went and found some people who are ready to ruin their relationships at the drop of a hat. But as this current season comes to a close, I can't help but wonder what's going on with our couples from the first season. Have they all become influencers like everyone who goes on The Bachelor? Has anyone gotten back together or broken up since they left? So many questions, and I'm here to answer them all. So let's check in with our 4 couples from Season 1 of Temptation Island. First up, Evan and Kacie. If you'll recall, these two went into the show with what was supposedly a 10-year relationship under their belt, but Evan is now denying that and saying it was 5 years on and off, including a whole year where he lived in Hawaii without her. Regardless, this relationship was doomed from the start as Kacie begged Evan for a ring, and he went and gave one to some girl that he met 3 weeks ago. But for a relationship that started out so unconventionally, it looks like things for Evan and Morgan, the single he left with at the end of the series, are still going strong. He packed up all his things in Los Angeles and moved to Washington, D.C., where Morgan and her family are, and they got engaged. I believe Season 1 wrapped filming in December of 2018, so it's been almost exactly a year now, and Evan proposed sometime within that first 6 months of them being off the island and waiting for the show to air. So we'll see if there are any wedding bells in the near future, or if they're trying to take their engagement a lot slower now than they did at the start. As for Kacie, she dyed her hair black, as one does after a breakup, and since the show, I think it's safe to say she fancies herself a thotty photo op. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But she did mention that the 10 years of her life she spent hung up on Evan felt like a complete waste once he left her, so it looks like she's trying to make up for lost time. Interestingly enough, she did attend the Season 2 premiere of Temptation Island with Val, one of the singles she got close to on the island, but beyond some flirty pictures, it's not really clear if there's something there or if they've just stayed friends since filming ended. Now, let's move on to Shari and Javen. These two were pretty much the only unproblematic couple on the island, and the only two who had a chance at staying together, which they did. Neither of them are super active on Instagram, so they're not always posting lovey-dovey stuff to confirm they're a couple, but they got engaged at the end of Temptation Island, and Shari is still rocking that ring. Next up, Katy and John. At the end of Season 1, these two left the island separately, but according to John at the 6-month check-in with USA, Katy tried to be all affectionate and act like they were still a couple once they got back home. But then she ended up continuing her relationship with Johnny, the single she developed a relationship with on the island. Her and Johnny continued their relationship after the show, but it ended up fizzling out since they were long distance, which is the same thing John said about Catherine, the single he got close to on this series. Now, John remains single, but Katy found herself another man named Nathan, who she's been with for at least a few months now, and things seem to be going strong. What's funny is that she said her and Johnny couldn't work because he was in New York and she's in Texas, but her new boyfriend also seems to live in New York, which kind of just shows you'll make it work for who you want to. Lastly, we have our CrossFit couple, Nicole and Karl. These two left the show deciding that they wanted to break up, and that's exactly what happened. Karl moved out and he's working on his own fitness studio, and Nicole is also still working out, but I'm assuming not at the same gym. As far as I can see, they are both still single. Regardless of relationship status, one positive thing that's come out of this for all the girls is that these 4 seem to have stayed good friends through it all, which is great. I can definitely see how going through this type of situation together would bring you close to one another, and it looks like that's what happened here, which I'm sure helps soften the blow for some of the not-so-lucky contestants love-wise. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this. Are you surprised to see where any of these couples are at today? And more importantly, how insane is season 2? I could literally watch an hour episode of this shit 7 days a week and I'd still be entertained. But let me know your predictions for the couples on this season down below. That is it for today. I will see you guys next time. Bye.